looking for the mystery beneath the northern star, looking for the pot of gold at the rainbow's end, hoping that I find it soon beneath the gypsy moon.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest. Today we have from Boylston, we have Diane Barnes, and she is the author of Waiting for Ethan. And Diane, would you say that these are geared towards the young adults?
No, they're adults, young adults too, but it's definitely not specific towards young adults.
Now, you said we actually met a couple of years ago when I gave a presentation over in Westboro at Chattanooga. For a totally different reason. Totally different reason. Now, Waiting for Ethan is the first book, your first book that you've
It's
written.
my debut novel.
How long did it take you to write it?
Oh, so I started Waiting for Ethan in 2008 as National Novel Writing Month, which the goal is to write 50,000 words in 1 month. And I did that, and then I put the manuscript away for a while.
Yeah.
And then I started working on it again, and the end story doesn't really resemble the story that I wrote for Nano. But I finished in, I think it was 2012, but it wasn't, I wasn't working on it for those 4 years. I put it away. And
were you writing before that at all when you were a kid, when you were in college?
I studied journalism in college, and ever since I was in second grade, I wanted to be a writer.
Yeah, you did. You knew.
I knew in second grade. We came back from recess one day, and there were these large footprints, cut-out footprints of paper, set up all over the room. And we had to write a story about what could have happened when we were at recess. Who made these
that's cool.
large footprints?
Oh,
they were like
yeah.
over the desk, under the chairs, and out the window.
Yeah.
And they gave us one of those little composition books.
Yeah.
And I filled it up, and then I asked for another, and I asked for another. And then when I went home that day, the teacher just gave me a whole stack. And ever since that day, I've been writing.
You must have gotten a lot of A's. You were in what grade?
That was second grade. Yeah.
Second grade. Yeah, I remember those. They're still selling them. Those composition
Those little tiny
books.
books, yeah.
I like them. The only thing is sometimes the binding isn't as cool as I'd like it to be. It gets kind of hairy. It falls off or something. I don't know what it is. Now, Waiting for Ethan is the first, and we are. Mixed Signals is the next one.
Yes.
And I don't know if you can get a zoom in on this, Paul? Mixed Signals. Great. And I was sharing with Diane that downstairs we have the authors wall dedicated here in Upton Library for authors who have been on Be My Guest. And I'm so glad she brought her copies, because that's I always encourage the authors, bring it. And you can. Now, did you know when you started writing Waiting for Ethan what the story was going to be about?
I knew it was going to be about a woman dating divorced men.
Yeah.
And the original story was about a woman who dated a lot of divorced men. And then during the editing process, it just became one divorced man that she ended up dating. So,
Did you know that you would be self-publishing it?
oh, I didn't self-publish.
It is.
No.
No. Oh, it's not.
No.
Okay.
I have a publisher, Kensington Lyrical
Okay.
Press.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. There's a lot of smaller, which is good, publishers out there to help people. I always like the self-publishing idea, but 'cause sometimes you have to sign a thing that says, well, they're going to design your cover. I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah, they did design the cover, but I think they did a great job.
Yeah. Oh, it catches your eye
Yeah.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
I swear I've seen your books before, and I don't know where I've seen them. Were you over at Evertime Westboro Library?
I did. I did an author signing, an author event over there.
Was it a lot of authors in the first part of the room? Or?
Yes, there was there were two rooms, and there were
Yes.
authors in each of the rooms.
That was recently. I was there, but did you get there late, or did I?
The other authors were there before me. I didn't.
Okay.
I wasn't really late. It just
I
I,
don't
was on
remember.
time, and they weren't really probably. Yeah.
Okay, all right, because I know I'd seen these. Maybe they had left some out there. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but so she was dating. In the story, she's dating married men, right, or divorced men, divorced guys, and so now she wants to get out of that type of thing.
So it's about a girl when she's 13 years old. Her best friend's grandmother is a fortune teller, and she tells her the name of her future husband.
Yeah.
And she's 36, and she's still single, and she hasn't met anyone by that name, and she's just about to give up hope when she meets a man named Ethan.
Yeah.
And she thinks that he's the one, but he's going through a divorce. So he's not really at all what she was expecting him to be.
Yeah.
And she sort of has to struggle with, this is the prediction that I've been waiting for my whole life, but he's not really meeting her expectations. So does she just keep moving forward down that path because it's the prediction, or does she finally say, you know what, it's just a silly prediction?
Yeah. So that's what you have to wait for.
Yeah.
Right, to read the book. How can people get a hold of Waiting for Ethan?
Waiting for Ethan is available on Amazon, and it's available on Barnes & Noble's site, anywhere where they sell online books.
Love is unpredictable, or is it? And now, so it was, you had the fortune teller.
Because of the fortune teller, exactly.
And I can't give away the ending here, but I like the way, I wish they had a picture of you. They don't have a picture of the author on here.
No.
Very often they will, and those pictures are pretty good. They
Yeah.
are, yeah. You know, now do you have more books coming?
I'm working on my third novel now.
What's that one?
It's called Reshaping Peggy,
Ooh.
and it's about a woman who's in her late 40s, and her husband has died, and she raised 2 kids by herself, and they both leave for college. So now she's by herself, the empty house syndrome, empty nest syndrome, and she's also overweight. So before her kids leave for school, they give her a gift certificate for a local gym. And she joins a class there, and she meets, the women she meets there help her change not only her body, but her life.
Her life.
Yeah.
Where do you get these great ideas?
You know, I don't know. That one's, Reshaping Peggy also started during National Novel Writing Month. So with the goal to write 50,000 words during the month of November, which I did. So I think when I have that small time frame to write, I can get the ideas and like crank out. The writing isn't very good during that time, but
Is
I
that
can
why
get the
they do
story.
it? They do it. They cut to encourage an author to really move it.
Just get your ideas down.
Do you belong to any authors groups?
I do. I belong to a few of them.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's some. If you go online, authors meetups, authors groups, like even Worcester or whatever the area. There's a number of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have one at the Hudson Library. I used to live in Hudson.
Oh, okay.
And we have a monthly group. So I've been going there regularly since I've been was working on Waiting for Ethan.
Different genres, people writing in different.
Everything.
Yeah.
People are writing memoirs, everything. Science fiction.
I'll tell you, sci-fi and fantasy is huge right now. If you go in and you look, gosh, even for adults, but a lot of the young adults, all you see is these wacko type of, these
Yeah,
covers
yeah.
and things that I'm like, well, maybe I should give it more of a shot. It's hard for me to get into it. Sci-fi is good if it has at least some element that it could happen. Yeah, I'll read it if it's something, but if it's out there with dragons and guys with swords, I
Then
don't.
not usually.
I don't
yeah.
go for that. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
Now, so Waiting for Ethan was the first one. Mixed Signals is the next one. What's this one
So
about?
Mixed Signals is my second novel, and it just came out this past September. It's about a woman, Jillian Atwood. She's 32 years old, and she's been dating the same man for 6 years, Nico. And she decides that it's time to get married. She wants to get married, and he finally pops the question. But a little while after asking the question, he gets cold feet, and he doesn't only cancel the engagement, he breaks up with her. And he's also a producer for a morning talk show.
Yeah.
So he talks about the breakup on the air. The breakup is talked about on the air. And then she gets into a disagreement with the host of the talk show.
Yeah.
So they sort of humiliate her on the air. And it's just about having your breakup go viral.
Ooh. These books, would you say that if you went and spoke in front of women's groups, they'd really make a hit?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chick lit, I guess, is
That's
maybe
good.
what it becomes.
Because I don't, at that huge authors expo I mentioned to you, I honestly don't think, Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't really see, this is great. One genre I don't see is chick lit. I see everything else, but I've seen children's stuff. I've seen a lot of guys, stuff, sci-fi, fantasy, some good stories too.
Mhm.
Self-help, but I don't think I've ever seen chick lit over there. So boy, I'll tell you more about this later, but I think you would really enjoy it because it's different. It's different. I'm not seeing this. Why? This is good. You got to keep.
I think it used to be like Bridget Jones' Diary,
Yeah.
Emily Gifford, Alison Winscotch, like those type of authors write that kind of fiction. But
But the people on the front look very. Now this one, it's misleading because she's older when she meets Ethan.
right, so if you look at that, and that, a lot of people have asked, is it a young adult novel? And
Yeah.
I think it's because of the two people on the front do look a little younger.
I was going to say, and now this one, Would you say that's a little more appropriate that for that one? They're a little older?
They're in their early 30s, so.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's why I wondered, would you more have targeted young adults? But it isn't.
It's really not.
No.
Because their characters are in their 30s, so.
It's not. Now, you said you've got another one coming,
Mhm.
and that's the one that, what was the name of it again?
Reshaping Peggy.
Reshaping Peggy. That sounds really interesting because her kids are leaving. She's going to be an empty nester, and let me see, they give her the gift card for the gym, and she goes, probably, like,
She doesn't wanna go.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't really want to go. This sounds really creepy. But she goes in, right?
Mhm.
And she makes friends with the other women. Have you ever been in a gym yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Do you like it?
I do. I like the camaraderie.
There's
Yeah.
camaraderie?
Yes.
I know I went to one recently, and nobody talked to each other. It was huge. Just, nobody cared. They would have the TV on, and nobody interacted.
Well, this was a class. It's a class.
Class.
So,
Okay.
right, yeah, and it's limited to, I'm not sure how many people, or 12 people or something like that. So everyone in the class got really close.
Oh, a class.
Yeah.
Was it like exercise class?
It was like every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it's really early in the morning. So
Oh.
people are there. You're commiserating, and it makes it a lot of fun.
So you've done it.
Yeah.
So this is cool. How about your other books? Have you gone through experiences similar to them that you could write on?
Well, definitely not mixed signals. I never had a viral type of breakup. And, Waiting for Ethan, not really either. I mean, a breakup, sure, but not a...
Yeah. But the gym one, I've always wondered if anybody had written a story around a gym, and you already have. That's the one coming up.
So I'm working on that one now.
Yeah, I know. Now, when is that going to be out?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I
You don't know yet?
I haven't finished writing it yet, so
Maybe spring?
I don't think it would be out that soon. No.
Really?
Yeah, it takes a long time.
By June?
No,
No.
I think I'm trying to remember how long it took waiting for Ethan. I mean, it was over a year once the
Oh, well,
publisher got it.
I'm just thinking ahead, if you did go to that huge authors expo, which I know you think was gorgeous, I'm just thinking, well, these two are enough to get everyone's attention. Plus, Paul, can you zero in on that gorgeous, she brought a great, when I say posters or signage, sometimes I
Yeah.
never know what to expect. They could be so small.
Yeah.
I've got to, but that is,
So that was
that's-
for a reading that I did. I had it up there.
Yeah, now you're appearing at, so that's the Waiting for Ethan, and that's a great way to see her first book's cover. I love that. And then down here, can you hold this one up?
Sure.
So that Paul can zero in it. Mixed Signals. This was the second one. This is the way you need to do it, authors. You get big signs. Because do you have an easel that you put them
Yes.
on? Yes.
Yes.
So important. Great signs. Great signs. Do you go
Thanks.
to Staples and they do it for you?
Yes.
Aren't they great?
Yes, absolutely.
I know. I've done that too. I swear they could do anything. They're magic. But that's what to do to get attention. And at something like the expo, you have that on an easel. And people are seeing it right there. Some people, you just sit in a thing, they just sit there with a pile of books and they wait. And I'm like, that's not going to get you too far.
Right.
And I say, bring someone with you, not just so you can get up and go to the bathroom, leave it, but so that you can get up and schmooze. Go around to
Meet
all the
the other
different
authors,
authors. Because
sure.
you say, well, why? Because I don't want to get their book. I say, no. That's so you can network, and they may know somebody or somewhere that they think you'd be great to go. So where are you going to be appearing pretty soon?
I don't have anything set up right now.
Nothing for 217, nothing yet?
Nothing yet.
Nothing
yeah.
yet.
Hopefully Tatnick again. I like going there.
Yeah, they are good. That big room in the back is cool. Too many authors, there's a little tiny space not far from the checkout counters. They get kind of right there, and I'm like, that's probably not the best place for you.
So when I did my first reading for Waiting for Ethan, they had a little table set up right near the
Yeah.
registers, and I
Yeah.
was there. But so many people came that they had to move me into the back room because it got so crowded. And it was good because I had prepared a reading anyway, so I couldn't really
Yeah.
do a reading at the front of the store.
How many people showed up?
That room was full. That back room was
So
full.
they did a great
People were
job of
standing.
advertising.
Yeah,
it.
they did. They did.
That is who would have known that when I had met you maybe a couple of years before? Did you even have any idea you'd be doing these books?
I did. So one of the reasons why I went when you were there, I was going to be there the next week or like in 2 weeks later,
Oh.
and so I went to see what it was like.
Yeah.
So I
That's
was
okay.
I was looking on the schedule, and I was also wanting to write the
memoir for your
memoirs.
dad.
Yeah. So
So that didn't get done yet, anyway.
No.
No, that's not. Well,
Yeah.
does he live nearby you?
Yes, he does.
Okay, good. So you can get over to see him and that type of
Yeah.
thing. So, which was of the two books? Which was the quickest one to write? Your first or second?
no, Mixed Signals I wrote in less than a year. So
That was the quicker one.
yeah, because I had a deadline from the publisher, so I had to write it quickly.
Were you the only kid growing up in your family that was interested in writing?
Yes.
And your parents knew? They just knew?
Yeah, they did know. Yeah.
Were you writing lots of things all the time?
I was.
Did you illustrate too?
No, I can't draw. So.
Okay, okay. So I know some authors will do like a little bit of thing, or they'll have somebody do it, but most authors I meet don't illustrate. You know, they don't, or unless they put a photo in there or something.
Yeah.
But, so you got to high school, still wanted to be a writer.
Mhm.
What did the teacher suggest to you, your English teacher? What did she suggest, a particular college or courses?
Journalism, yeah, writing. I never really thought of fiction writing as a career at that time.
Yeah.
So
you didn't, where'd you go to college?
St. Michael's College in Vermont.
Up in, there was a college up in Vermont that my parents and I went up to. It might have been UVM University, but there's another one. Very popular. Oh, it's a big, not Bates.
Middlebury? Or?
Millbury. And the only thing is, I think you had to have like straight A's and terrific SAT scores. I'm like, well, not so much.
Yeah.
So I ended up over at Plymouth State University in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
Over there.
Yeah.
Did you stay the whole time?
I did.
You did.
I
You
did.
didn't get bored.
No, I didn't. Vermont, it's excessively cold there.
Yeah.
So as soon as I graduated, I moved to California. I was like, I had enough of the snow and the cold weather, and I lived out there for a while, and then I moved back here.
What brought you back here?
Family.
Your family.
Yeah.
How many children do you have?
No, but it was I'm talking about my sisters and my brother.
Your sisters
and
and your
yeah,
brother.
yeah, no
Yeah.
children, yeah.
Don't you? So you're the only of your parents' children. You're the only one that got into writing.
Yes,
They must be very proud, huh?
they are, yes.
They really. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Now, do you ever give presentations where you teach people tips about writing?
I don't. In fact, I still take a lot of writing classes because
You do?
I do, because I think there's so much to learn, and
Yeah.
you can always get better.
Yeah.
So there's a great organization in Boston, Grub Street, that teaches fiction writing or all kinds of writing. But I take a lot of novel workshop
Up
classes.
there in Boston?
In Boston.
You go from Boylston to Boston?
Yeah, I do once a week, and it's great. It gives you an opportunity to workshop the chapters that you've written and get some feedback. Because when you're writing, you're by yourself. You're just
Yeah.
alone in a room, and you have no idea what the scenes you're writing work. So everyone in the class will read what you wrote,
Yeah.
and they'll critique it for you, and they'll be honest. So
I kind of like that. I mean,
Yeah.
here I write for other people, and I'm thinking someday maybe I'll write for myself. How can people get a hold of your copies, Diane? How can they get them?
So they're available on Amazon. I have a website, dianembarnes.com, where they're also available. So Amazon or Barnes & Noble online, Kobo.
Do you still belong to the Hudson?
Yes,
Now, that's a writers group at the library.
it's a writers group at the library.
Okay.
We
And everyone's
once a month.
welcome, right?
Yes.
Can you explain to people who are interested in this but a little shy what a writers group is?
A writers group, the way our writers group works is you bring maybe 6 to 10 pages and you read it out loud, whatever you've written that week or that month, and the people there will critique it for you, and it's a gentle critique. They're very nice, they're encouraging, they want you to do well, so they'll tell you what works and what you've written, and also what maybe could change to make it better, to make it stronger.
I think I like that a lot. I love the way you put it, a gentle critique. What happens if you're sitting in the group, and I had this happen to me once in Milford, somebody his book didn't interest me at all. Nice guy, but it was out there. And I'm thinking, I'm supposed to be listening to this and then critique it, but I kept drifting off.
It's hard.
What do you do?
Yeah, so when someone's reading it out loud, and you have to pay attention, and sometimes that's hard to do, but
Yeah, it is. Are there many people in the Hudson group?
there are. It varies every month how many people show up. I mean, sometimes it's a full room, sometimes there's just 4 or 5 of us.
Yeah. Now, Boylston, is that the one with that adorable little stone library?
Yes.
Okay, because I've been by there on my way up to Lancaster. I think that's Route 70. Is that 70 or 140?
140.
Okay, and then you go through town, and there's this adorable little stone, real stones, library, and it's petite, to put it mildly.
Yeah, I live on the Boylston Northborough line, so I always go to the Northborough Library.
That's what I love. It's a wonderful.
It's a great library, yeah. So I've never even been to the Boylston Library, which is awful. I support them, but for their fundraisers and stuff. But whenever I need to go to the library, I always go to Northborough or Hudson.
You would love it. You've probably already seen in Northborough there that big room. Have you been there?
To Northborough?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you spoken there?
I have not spoken there. No.
Oh, you got to get
No.
yourself in there. It's a great place. I've been to coloring in there. I've been to a beading class. Authors, they're pretty open over there. Westboro has a room downstairs. I've been in that one. Westboro Library's good.
Yeah, I talked to a librarian about that last time I was there.
Yeah,
so.
and Milford is very open to authors, or right up the street. Hopedale, gosh, Uxbridge. I mean, you know, it's having scheduled many authors. I mean, they just come right out of my mind.
Right, you know.
Oh gosh, yeah, and that's just libraries. There's other places you can give presentations. A lot of people think, well, what do you mean a senior center? I'm like, don't think that way, because senior centers, they love to read things just as much as, you know, all kinds of things.
Right, that's a great idea.
And
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but the youngest baby boomers are in their early 50s or whatever, and they're beginning to try to find out, well, what's in the senior center for fun for me? I mean fun, and I'm saying fun because if it isn't, usually we're not going to show up. But having an author, I've had a couple of authors go over and speak at senior centers and do very well. One woman, I think the name of her title was It's in the Little Things, about how she was taunted as a kid and how she came to appreciate. I said, you know what, I'm going to send her over to Mendon Library. They loved her.
That's great.
You know, and young at heart books, like what you write, you know, I would see young, under 35, that type of thing, 40. I don't think there's any limit to what people are reading.
Sure.
But that's awesome. And again, women's groups, my God, you know, you would be a shoo-in. There's so many women's meetups and everything. Oh, yeah. Do you work outside your home?
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
I'm a marketing writer for a healthcare company.
Oh, wow. So you get a lot of writing.
I'm writing all day.
A marketing
Yeah,
writer. What does a marketing writer do?
So, I write, well, it's corporate, I work in corporate communication, so any of our communications to customers, we have to send them emails, if we have to send them letters, and then when we're promoting ourselves and our products, our product descriptions, the copy on our website, so just any written communication. Messages to employees, sometimes I help out with those. So.
You enjoy it?
I do. I work with great people, and I've worked there for a long time. I think 13 years. So I definitely,
You love writing. Your eyes are just lit up.
Yeah.
When you write, do you do the thing where you're a night owl and you're on the computer? How do you do it?
So because I work all day, like I try to write after work when I get home, but sometimes I'm just tired from writing all day, and I have to totally change gears and change voice from a corporate voice to a fictional creative voice.
Yeah.
So that's kind of hard to do. So I do a lot of my writing on the weekends, and I'll get up early on Saturday and I'll just write the whole entire day.
The whole day?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel isolated?
Yes, I do. I do, and my husband's good about making sure that he'll schedule things for us to get out and do. And
what does he think of your books? Well, they're girl book more.
Yeah, not his normal cup of tea. So.
But he must be very proud of you.
Yeah,
though.
he is. He is.
We are talking with Diane Barnes, and she is the author of 2 books. Well, her first one, Waiting for Ethan, and the other, Mixed Signals. And she's got that other one again. What was the name of that?
Reshaping Peggy.
Reshaping Peggy. And you got to send that to me, okay? Because we got to get you on when that gets done.
Yeah, that'll be a while.
Definitely. I mean, this is really good stuff. Now, you have nothing coming up yet, any presentations yet. Is there any place you want to be to start? What the ideas you're thinking, gee, I'd like to be here and do a presentation, book signings?
Yeah, I would love to be at like Barnes and Noble or.
Tricky.
Yeah.
Tricky. They, I think they're too picky, honestly, because I deal with authors who self-publish, who have a small publishing company. They deserve a chance.
Mm-hmm.
My God, they could have. It doesn't seem to matter to them if this self-published author has sold a ton of books. That's a signal, guys. That means that this is a good author.
Yeah.
Get them out there. And then once they do that, then maybe, the big name, like Randall or whatever, the press, they'll be saying, oh, gee, so she was at Barnes & Noble. Well, maybe now we'll consider taking her in. Although I hate that thing where you apply and it's 2 years and you get rejected.
Yeah, I've had a really good experience, though. When I was writing, my goal was actually, wasn't really to get published, it was to get an agent first, right? And have the agent. So I went that whole route, and I was lucky enough, I found an agent who's wonderful, and then she found the publisher. So it's one of my publishers, small, and they're family owned, but they're great. I mean, they're pretty well known. So
there's a place in Webster, the Cafe, and I can't think of meaning I can't think of the name. Not Authors Cafe. The Authors Gourmet. It's over in Webster. You'd love it. She's always open. It's this cute, very dedicated bookshop. A lot of authors go over there. You'd love it.
it's in Webster, you said?
Webster, yeah.
Okay.
Webster's not far from here at all, I know I've been up, I visited the Clinton Library, that's a big old library. Did I go in I don't remember Lancaster. I know, of course, you've got Worcester. But that's tough, for some reason that's tougher to get scheduled into. Well, I don't know why. Have any of the other writers ever mentioned that in your groups?
No.
No?
No.
It's maybe they've learned and they like staying away, but I'm not sure what the criteria is, because I have tried myself to get a connection for an author, and most of the time you hear nothing back. That doesn't sit well with me. So
No, right,
I try again and again. If you still get, it's like, who's on first base? And I'm like, well, look, I'm not going to put this person through this. This is it. We're done. There's too many other big places to go. And you go into Boston Mondays to this authors writing group, right? Is it free?
Oh, no.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
How can you do that if you're working? Do they allow you to?
It's after work.
It's
So
after-
it's on Sunday. It's actually, my classes have been on Sunday nights, or sometimes Tuesday nights, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not
So-
too much problem going in and out.
Yeah, because if I'm already at work, it's fine.
Is there a writers group besides Hudson that you like locally?
Not locally, but
Mm-hmm.
I did a workshop with Elizabeth Berg and with 7 other women, and they're all over the country, but
Yeah.
we talk on the phone and
Yeah.
we swap stories that way, so that's my
Yeah.
other writing group.
Some people are saying, well, a lot of people want to listen to a book. Listening now, that wouldn't do it for me. I want to read it. I want to hold it in my hand and read.
Yeah.
Diane, we have just a couple minutes left. How can people get a hold of your books?
My books are available on Amazon. They're available on Kobo, barnesandnoble.com, and on my website, dianembarnes.com. Anywhere where books are sold online.
Okay, so you got into Barnes & Noble online.
Online, yep.
So, okay, so they're taking people in online, but not so much having them come there.
Right, because it's an ebook. My book is real. It's a print-on-demand book, so.
Okay. I saw right over in Worcester, we saw I think I told you about the poet author that comes on. He appeared over at Barnes & Noble in Worcester on Lincoln Street, and a little tiny area in the back. But he did a really good job. So they do, sometimes once in a while, I don't see it often, they'll have a signing as you come in.
Mhm.
I don't see it very often.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Do you go to the one in Worcester? Which ones do you go to?
Sometimes the one in Worcester, a lot of times the one in Framingham.
How about Millbury? Oh, no, wait a minute. Yeah, Millbury has one. Right at the shops.
I have been there, yeah. The Blackstone shops?
Yes.
Shops of Blackstone, yeah.
Yeah, off 146. They've got it's not the kind of mall where you go in and you stay warm and cozy.
Yeah, right. That's
In and out and in and out. Sometimes people say, well, the Barnes and Nobles are all alike. I'm like, well, sometimes there's a little difference the way they set it up.
Yeah.
And then they have, of course, the Starbucks Cafe.
Right.
Ooh.
I have to say, though, if I'm going to buy books, I buy them from Tatnick because they let me speak there, so of course I'm going to support them when I'm
Yeah.
buying books.
They're good there. They're
Yeah.
really good, and I love that room. They've had artists display there. Authors can speak.
Mhm.
They have that B&I business group, and they meet there. Diane, it's been great to meet you,
It's been great
and
to meet you too.
we're going to have you back on with your next book, right?
Great. Yeah, thanks for having me today.
You're welcome, and we'll see you next time and be my guest.
Okay, thank you.
Good job. Your first shot out of the gate.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems. Moving through the cloudless sky, heading out toward the moon.